9.
Sorry, where is that, Chair? Page 17. What number? 5?
Page 17.
442,
441.
44.
Of interest is 75.
No, 1 to 75. Sorry. Sorry, Chair.
Let me get you where I got in that one. There is 462, 1 to 138.
No. It's 1 is 238. Sorry, Chair. It's the ratio. So it's one teacher.
Or one teacher to 40 to 38.
40 to 38,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, you're not off, Chair, because there's still the 1 to...
572?
Yeah, 570.
572?
Yeah, I flagged that. So 1 to 101. Yeah, and there's... So we do have, back to Senator Muma's point, yes, the ideal is one teacher to 25 pupils, but I find myself in a situation where there are some areas where the parents, which is a good thing, almost all the kids go to the public ECDs, and that's a bit further from town. That seems to be the case. So what we have sat down with the Department of Education and decided is, as we hire teachers, we are going to send more to those areas and build more classes in those areas versus, because I mean, we only have so much resources. So we are trying to make sure now here the issue of equity comes in. So where there's so many pupils in a class, we begin with building more classrooms there and hiring teachers for them to depopulate, what is the word, to decrease the population in those classrooms. So yes, even before we focus on getting those in the private ECDs into our public schools, I want to first make sure that in ours, at a maximum, like you said, is 30. So we give 36 chairs because of the overflow. I did ask my team what happens practically on the ground where you give 36 chairs and there's 100 students. And I'm told the schools already had some older, those older Bao ones. So that's what they're using. So we are working on that step by step, progressively, financial year after financial year. In addition to that is the teachers. So because we can build the classrooms, but if we don't have the teachers, then it doesn't make sense. So it's a challenge a little bit, but we are increasing the amount that goes towards ECDs because we know it's a very important foundation for our children. And so we are working on that. On the hexagonal tables, I will wait to hear on that because I imagine the shape, I'm not very familiar. We did ask why our chairs look like a triangle. Is it a triangle? And I actually wondered, how does a kid see the board when they are sitting this way? And was informed that it's more for group activity at the ECDE level. And when the teacher is teaching up there, then the kids sort of rearrange the chairs. But I can't wait to hear the hexagonal. As we said, we want to leave here today also getting better, because you see a lot of counties, you see what everybody else is doing. Yourselves, like Professor Kamal, have been actually university professors. So I'm sure along the way you've seen a lot of this and can give us also, this knowledge we'll be able to take away from here, and we look forward to that. And finally, on the issue of toilets, Senator Muma, that is a very, very, very important issue, because as I came into office, I had so many ECDs that didn't have safe, and we are still working on them. Some didn't have safe toilets, where you see the toilet is actually even about to fall down, and you can imagine a little kid going into that. Or, as you said, because ECDs are in primary schools, the toilets, the big kids would come and sort of the little ones are not able to go, anyway, it's been an issue. So what we are also doing is, as we build the classrooms, we are building the toilets and making sure they're just only used by the ECDE students and not the bigger students.
Thank you. At least I'm happy that you understand that very well, Your Excellency. Yes, Senator Kenywa.
Thank you. I would want to agree that the presentation was very good. Of course, expected nothing less than that from Susan. But Madam Chair, she has not indicated the breakdown of PP1 and PP2. All what I'm seeing is in public, we have boys, girls, and then the totals, and showing the way they have been increasing. So there's no breakdown. Another thing I didn't see, I just saw Saturday, but for only one grade or one job group, that's G. Does it mean everybody in Nakuru, they all fall under this category. We don't have other job groups, so that we would see what is the payment for the other job group. Or maybe the governor strategically picked the one that they're paying very well to show what's happening in Nakuru. On feeding program, Governor, I am one person who keeps asking that question about whether children are being fed, and I'm happy. You have even shown the breakdown of what is contained in that Ruji. The only thing I'm shocked is that there is even Staphylococci, which I thought Staphylococci and Salmonella typhi. Yeah, the microbe levels. No, they are saying it's okay. Which, yes, they are here. I was reading here. I saw Staphylococci.
Which page, Senator?
Page 2.
Little knowledge is dangerous.
Yeah, no, I'm just showing you the levels. No, all what I'm saying is that the breakdown is so neat that she even showed what it details the microbials that are there. Thank you.
Senator Kenya, what you didn't say is, so far this is the cheapest we've seen, costed at 16 shillings per child.
I didn't want to talk about it that way because I know. The senator.
It is important to note, it is important to say, to highlight what is good so that we can encourage other counties to follow suit, please.
Okay. Chair, I'm guided.
She doesn't have a factory for porridge. Like somewhere who's planning a factory for porridge.
Chair, is not fair to other male governors when they are being bashed. You know, it's done here deliberately. Please.
No. We just want to show you that where ladies are, things are done perfectly, especially matters children. Yes, Senator Seki.
Thank you, Chair. I can see Governor has a very good, environment. He has a very good environment here now that we have so many ladies here. I want to ask the Governor one question, maybe. What about the 1.8 million for the classroom? It is only a classroom, or you have also a center? Are you grouping? Because I've seen many of the schools or many of the counties have centers, ECD centers. So are you just making or building classrooms rather than going the center option? Because I think the center option also includes the entire thing, and it will also help you in trying to minimize space and something like that. I think it is good that you answer that question so that we're able to see, and that is what is important. That's why we insist on the policy, that we need a policy such that now that becomes something that will talk across, so that tomorrow you finish your term and another person will come. He needs to follow up on something that is there, a structure that is there, and that structure that is there is the policy, because this policy will talk more about the center rather than just coming, you do another classroom, another one comes and do renovation of the same thing as you are doing it. So I think it is good that we got that option. So maybe you can just answer that question. One question.
Senator, I think that is also heavy. Part of the answer is on page 1. Senator Bethu.
Thank you very much, Chair. It is a pleasure to see Governor for Nakuru again, former Majority Whip of the Senate, who was defeated by the President and the party leader of her party when she disagreed. So you have the best to learn from.
You will see her behind the tent.
I mean, that's public knowledge.
You lead it.
Yeah. That's public knowledge. She was a Majority Whip of the Senate.
I'm saying you need mentorship. You truly need mentorship from her.
And I'm actually happy that I'm following in her steps. I saw her discouraging me, and I was wondering, why does she not want me to live her dream? And I am also very happy that I've seen that she's doing very well in terms of the investment in the ECDE part of the. I've seen that 6% of your budget goes to the ECD, which is very commendable and very good. As a young parent, because you are a young parent like myself, I know we all benefit from this investment. May I ask 3 questions very, very quickly, starting with page 33 I've seen the salary for ECD teacher on job group G. May I know whether they have a category of salaries for teachers? Because I thought they are graduate teachers, ECD teachers, no, certificate teachers or diploma teachers. What would be their salaries? Because this is just for one specific group, job group. So that teachers employed by the county government of Nakuru are on permanent and pensionable terms as per the scheme of service. On the second table, it shows that the current ECD teachers. I hope you got my question. Number 3, I want to go to page 1, which is also very commendable, by the way, Governor. Not very many people want to take this challenge of giving children these basic meals, either milk or porridge. And there's something about, I think, female governors, because we saw it in Machakos. We are seeing it in Nakuru. We are not seeing it in Nyandarua. I think there's something about female governors. I don't know what. Thank you very much for taking this challenge. I've seen the budget is quite hefty. If anybody would not want to put 200 million just for porridge, many people would want to use it to build feeder roads and what have you. But an investment in our children is a good investment. Now, on page 1. To support the school feeding program, the county has constructed 8 kitchens. I think that is paragraph bullet 3. 8 kitchens at a cost of 2 million. The kitchens are intended to serve the surrounding schools in a ward. So I want you to underline 8 and also underline in a ward. I think I know the number of wards in Nakuru. So the 8 are deficient and they can't be able to serve a ward. So I want to know how these are distributed. Maybe finally, Chair, I think for next time, as we congratulate you for doing very well, your minister should be able to take this and capture correctly for us to be able to get this graduation of the numbers. Maybe you can prepare it as per sub-counties. That is what I see in many other counties. The presentation will be better so that we can be able to know what are the number of boys in this sub-county, what are the number of boys in this sub-county, and therefore we can be able to do a comparison. Otherwise, congratulations and asante sana.
Governor, please. Senator, please let's give Governor a chance to answer those because they're from 3 senators, and then we can continue.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members, once again. We begin with the question by Senator Kenywa on the PP1 and PP2. Yes, on that I concede. We did not have a breakdown on that. We just did the boys and girls in general and then the total. So in the going forward, we'll make sure to do that.
Maybe, Governor, we could request that that will be one of the documents that you're going to to give us to redo and send to us.
Sure.
Maybe in a week, 7 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sufficient, yeah. So we shall redo that and get it to you within a week, within 7 days. On the salary, I actually knew that question was going to come up. I don't know how I knew, but on the salary, and not having, sorry, let me rephrase that. On the salary, we only have one job group, G, in the county. And what we do is when we advertise for the minimum qualifications, which are still sufficient to teach the classroom. And the reason being, because we want to give them terms that make sense. And I'm also told that we are one of the higher paying ones, one of the higher paying counties across the country. Yes. So what we do is we advertise for the minimum qualifications, and then we progressively just keep hiring so that we make sure we fill the gap. But we've only managed so far to get to 841 actually. And you had a very good question. I think that was Senator Medho. Let me just mix up the answers because it's on the same issue. You had a very good question regarding the 841 that are permanent and pensionable versus the total that is the 2,152. The balance, if you look at table on page 5, the first table on page 5, you will see what says contract there from the county is 0. But we have BOM teachers who are 1,311. So that is what gives us the 2,152. But even as we recently hired priority is given to those BOM teachers so that we keep absorbing them and the parents don't have to contribute, I guess, towards their salaries. So that is the difference you see there. So all our centers are manned by the 2,152 teachers.
On a point of order, just for clarity,
Yes.
these teachers on contract, have they met the minimum requirements that you mentioned in 841?
Some of them have, actually almost all of them. Every now and then we'll have a problem because I have.
Sergeant Atam, can you finish what you're doing, please? You're distracting.
Sorry. When I go around and say, for example, we are giving bursaries and we are talking to parents, and some of the issues you'll hear some parent in maybe Solai tell me, oh, we've had this lady who's been teaching here for 26 years. Please, I mean, it's many years. They'll say that I know they were not ECDs, but maybe they were nursery. I think that's what the name was. So what we do is then when we go back, obviously the advertisement is open to everybody, but we have the board then first tries to make sure that for that specific center, priority is given to the BOM teacher if they apply. Very few times have we had an issue where the teacher, maybe they've been there actually for 20 years teaching, but the qualifications we're asking for may not necessarily meet. That's been very rare, but generally they meet them.
Do you have teachers for the? I don't want this last one, Chair. Is the last one. Do you have teachers that were in the defunct municipalities and?
Yes. Those are actually why I'm saying it's like they have been teaching for 26 years because it's the council, the municipality.
So they fall under these PNP?
No, many of them we are absorbing them from the BOM as we go along.
Maybe let me just clarify again on the same issue.
The chair, let him know the next chair.
Sorry, Chair. There's a continuation of the same question. Governor, I think we need to look at we need to know the teachers who have been in the defunct local authorities so that we also see their table. I believe they have more salary even more than this one. That is what I know. Because I understand that they had bigger salary than the one that you are providing here. Secondly, Chair, I would see something that will be a baggage, also a burden to the county. If you go in this direction of bringing all the teachers in one job group, be it degree, diploma, certificate, I am happy that you're giving them good salary. I can see it, and I'm sure you have a very good salary, more than any other county. But I think it will be a very big burden to the county, especially when it comes to common cadre positions like this one, because they will be progressing every financial year. I hope that the board is also here, one of the members of the board is here. If that will happen, then it becomes a big burden to the county because they will be progressing every financial year, and you add a lot of money. So it's good that also you scale according to their qualification rather than just putting them in one category, because it will reduce the burden of the county in terms of financial implication. I hope the finance CC will get not that one, because it has been happening that even when you are giving them increments, annual increments, promoting them, you promote almost the entire cadre in the same sense. So I think that one can be noted so that next time we don't just group them in one job group, all of them.
I think that is. Is there any other question which is not answered?
Sorry, Chair. Back to Senator Kenywa's question. Actually, I have been told that all the municipal teachers were absorbed, all of them. But due to natural attrition, obviously, many of them have aged out. So we only have 12 left. They were at a higher, their salaries were a bit higher than the rest of the others, but only 12 left. I have also listened to you very carefully, and I do get your point. It's an important point, Senator Seki. And I believe that what we did with the minimum qualifications is because we wanted them to come in at the at a lower job group so that we're able to hire more teachers. Because we felt if we bring in the degree ones and all that, then I only have 841 teachers. I need to get to 2,000. So slowly progressively, I can only afford to hire like 100 and something per year. Though our goal actually, somebody did ask on our long-term vision. Our goal was to be able to hire at least 500 ECDE teachers every financial year, at least for 3 years, to be able to get to where we need to be so that the BOM teachers, parents are not paying for these teachers. But we only have so much in terms of resources. And that's why we brought them all at the very basic level, at the minimum qualifications, so that we don't pay some so much that instead of hiring 2 teachers, then I have to hire 1. But I hear you, because over time also it's a double-edged sword. Then over time we have to progressively increase their salaries. I had one more. Okay. Senator Seki too had talked about the centers versus just a classroom. I think at this point, which is a good point, at this point when we talk about our classroom, it's just the surrounding or the accompanying infrastructure that's in that 1.8 M. It's not a center in the sense where maybe eventually, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I have such a large county with such a big population as well. You know, some counties are large geographically, but maybe the population is not so much. But I have a large county with a very high population, which is great actually, and very young population also. So that I would wish to be able to have an ECD where I can do a classroom and a teacher's office. But right now, the best I can do is provide a table for the teacher and the cabinets in the classroom, because I need to build another class somewhere where there's 100 kids in one class. But eventually, I agree with you. I think that should be the goal. We should move that way, in that direction, for even those who come after me. On the issue of the Senator Meadow, I think I answered that on the PP, on the permanent and pensionable and the BOM. On the school feeding program, the 8 wards, yes, Nakuru has 55 wards. But because of money, we are only able to do it progressively. So right now, we've done 8. And what we've done is sort of concentrated on where the populations are very high and also close, like in town, where one kitchen can handle 5 schools, so that it's easy to distribute the food eventually. But our goal is to be able to at least have the 55 kitchens progressively, as we also get ready, maybe in a few years, God willing, to do food, even if it's just lentils and rice or something like that. So we are working on that, and we hope to do better by the next time you see us, to have increased a bit more. I think, Chair, that was that was it for that round.
No.
Thank you, Governor.
There was one outstanding. Mine, I've already asked it, so I'm just reminding the governor.
Oh.
On the ratio of male to female teachers.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you did say, teachers.
Yes, male to female teachers. So
You
that
also-
you don't employ only female teachers.
Oh.
I asked.
Senator, that one is a new question, but let the governor answer.
Well, maybe I asked it in my
And
mind.
I urge senators, please, let's move faster. Please, we have another governor coming in at 11, so please consolidate all your questions.
Sorry, Chair. Let me answer one thing I forgot, actually, and I had seen the page. It was actually Senator Meadow, though he's also asking those that were in his head then at that time. There's one that you asked about the constituencies and the number of pupils. I think it was Senator Meadow. We actually have a table on page, what page is that? Page 5. No, I'm sorry. Page 5. On page 5, you will see the number of teachers and the enrollment of students, so that Bahati has 2,554 students and 101 teachers. Yeah, page 5. But all the teachers, so that Senator Meadow, you get that through the chair. All the males who applied this last recruitment, I'm told that all the males were taken, because apparently there were not that many, but all of them were taken. Yeah. And PWDs, all the ones who applied, all of them got jobs. As teachers, yes.
Okay. Senators, yes. Let us make progress, please. Senator Murango, our visitor is asking, our friend is asking if she could ask one question.
Chair and members for having me, and thank you, Governor.
It's on.
It is on. Thank you, Governor, for the great work you've been doing in Nakuru. In fact, I commend you, and I know you must be very passionate about ECD, especially in view of the fact that you're a new mother, and congratulations. I know in a few years, maybe the babies will also be in the same classes. My question is, I see in page 47, you have talked about, in the report, you have talked about insufficient resources to train the ECD teachers and instructors on the CBC and competency-based education and training, CBET. In view of these insufficient resources, have you been able to maybe customize some of the classes to take care of the special needs children? And also because of the budgetary constraints, are you able to ensure that these children also have caregivers, not just the teacher, like an extra person, a caregiver within the classes? Do you have that? And if there is insufficiency of resources, what is the level of that insufficiency? And finally, to commend you, because at some point when you were on leave, we almost thought Nakuru no work is going on. But I'm seeing you have very strong teams who have been working, and I want to congratulate them. And I see they are a young, energetic team, and you keep going. We know your county should be the sample county, especially with a woman governor. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe you could just comment because she wants to leave.
Chairman, am I asking?
Senator Murango, please, I asked and I begged that we let because she asked that she wanted to leave. You are coming next, Senator. And you are coming next, please. She requested. Governor, please.
Governor, please note the national government has refused to give county government 450 billion. It's talking about 4.5. That's why you have problems here.
Governor, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, Senator Veronica Maina, through the Chair. Yes, we do have special schools where we have some in Joro, Hill Special, Ngara for the deaf. And we are trying to do as much as we can to make sure that they have a good environment for those kids. Sometimes you are not able to put them in the classes, if I got your question right, in light of the insufficiency of resources, you're not able necessarily to put them in the same class as the others because they would be left behind too much. We already don't have enough room for the others. So, and some of the disabilities are a bit more severe than others, so that inclusion becomes a bit difficult. So we do have those, and we make sure that they are well taken care of. They are also given the same resources as far as the chairs, the tables, and good school infrastructure, so that the schools are friendly to the children with the disability. That's Marsho, actually, that's an area that I have a lot of interest in, because I do remember a few years back in Nakuru, I would visit some special schools and find that I think there was one in Bahati. I think it was Bahati, where in Lanet, where the special school was the toilets that had been converted because there was no room in the schools. The kids kept being pushed out of the classrooms to give room for the other students, that some toilets there had been fixed up and the kids were learning from there. So we swore that that will never happen on our watch, and it shouldn't happen at all. So we are working on that. On the insufficiency of resources, some of it is part of, I think we haven't gotten to that question you're asking on page 47. However, very generally, if my CECM, so that you can also answer a bit, you can explain a bit on some of the challenges we are facing as far as insufficiency of resources.
Thank you, Your Excellency. On the insufficiency of resources towards CBC, we shall all agree that CBC is a little challenge, even for the national government, and we need to do a retooling of all our teachers. So we are constantly training them. We recently had a training with KICD, so we are looking for partners to come and assist us in retooling the teachers. Yes, that is basically what we are doing. Yes, and also on CBC, for the young parents here, you will know that there is quite a lot in terms of materials and what have you that are required in order for children to go the competency curriculum-based way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. Senator Murango, please.
Asante.
And thank you, Senator Veronica.
Asante Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, kwa sababu ya muda nadhani nitatoa tafsiri yangu fupi. Kwanza nimpe kongole gavana kwa kazi nzuri ambayo unafanya, kwa sababu unajua kongole ni kwa kina mama, hongera ndio kwa wanaume. Kwa hivyo kongole kwa kazi nzuri ambayo unafanya. Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, kitu ambayo imenifurahisha sana ni lishe ambayo unapatia watoto Nakuru. Na najua Nakuru ni gatuzi kubwa sana. Kwetu Kirinyaga hatuna. Kwa hivyo ingawa sisi kaunti yetu ni ndogo, unafanya kazi nzuri sana. Pia naona virutubishi ambazo umeweka katika chakula ni nzuri katika kuhakikisha kwamba wale watoto wako kule wako sawa na wanakuwa kwa njia inayofaa. Jambo la pili, pia nimeona unalipa walimu vizuri, ambao huo ndio binadamu ambao tunataka kutoka kwa magavana. Tumeona wengi sana ambao hawachukuli kwa uzito, wanachukua walimu kwa bei rahisi, kwa urahisi kama bei ya chumvi. Lakini kazi yako nzuri, pia nimeona unalipa walimu vizuri, umeajiri wengi. Na kwa sababu pia mimi najua Nakuru, kwa sababu nimeishi hapo Molo, wakati mwingine najua hiyo ni kazi kubwa sana unaofanya. Na jambo la mwisho, pia nakala ambazo umeleta zimepangwa vizuri, ni nadhifu, zinasomeka. Weledi wa kufanya kazi unaonekana katika stakabadhi ambao umetuletea kama kamati ya Seneti. Kwa hivyo Mmewe anauliza kama tunaelewana. Gavana anaelewa. Kwa hivyo kwa mara nyingine tena nasema kongole. Sitauliza maswali kwa sababu ya muda, lakini kuna mengi sana ya kusoma kutoka kwako. Asante sana.
Thank you, Senator. Asante sana, Senator.
Nilitaka tu kujua gavana wa Kirinyaga ni nani? Gavana wa Kirinyaga ni nani?
Senator Kenya, please, hiyo tutakujibu tukimaliza mkutano. Senator Professor, come on.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Murango, for saying that there was no question because none of us understood what you were saying. You have saved my friend. I want to thank you, Governor, for what you are doing. I think you have been congratulated by many. Even the analysis of the porridge is a clear declaration that you are not hiding any information from anybody. I was just wondering about PP1, PP2. If we are building one classroom in one center, then is it 2 classrooms? 1.8?
No.
1.8 times 2?
No, Senator. It's the 1.8 is for one classroom.
Okay.
And that has the furniture, the furniture, ceiling, the.
So you have 2, just that one?
Yes, we have.
We have 2 in each center.
In each center, yes.
Thank you. Then that is okay. Then page 5 on the issue of the permanent and pensionable. I want to congratulate you for one thing. If you never gave the porridge and decided to hire these POM teachers, initially I had that as a question. Why the parents are hiring more than the county is hiring? But if you never gave the porridge, nobody else will give the porridge. So I'm now satisfied that you diverted your money to pay, to make sure that the children are alert, which is something we must do. A number of governors have really failed on that one. There was one documentation that we have been asking about the teachers themselves and their salary job groups, but you have given us one. Another wise one, which I think as senators will carry to the next level when we start comparing the counties, because the document will come back to you. And would like to meet with the Committee of Education at some point to standardize how we are doing things. This one of the minimum, so that you have one job group. It doesn't matter, a degree holder can decide to use this salary, but it's the same salary. I think that's the wisest I've had since we started this agenda. I just have one question. You have 2 model pre-primary schools, one in Naivasha and one in Nakuru. Why did you decide to give a model class, knowing that the children's rights, according to the Constitution, Article 53, equal access? I am one of those who killed national schools. I've talked about it for almost many years. Why would this be? I want the wisdom behind having a model primary school. And finally, my tables, as everybody knows. CEC, you are giving a rectangular table, 3 children, 3 children. If you have children fight, it's part of the game. When they sit on a row, You have taken my pen, I've taken your pen, and they have their equal space, and they are facing their own table. They meet at the center. And if the teacher wants to put something to copy from the center, every child will see it equally. You don't have distance. The problem with the rectangle is that there is distance for the far child to the center. But when you have an hexagonal, everybody has their own space. There is no fight over space. And I thought that was the hexagonal table has always been the best. Yeah. Yes, we will do it when we do the comparative and share the documents. We'll give them what we think would be ideal. So, thank you. I know we didn't want to come back to ECD, but we know when we go to the challenges. Let me just touch on the challenge that Senator Veronica touched on, Governor, the insufficiency of resources. In this committee, we are looking at ECD, we are looking at VTCs, and we are looking at bursaries. And we keep asking governors, when you tell us you don't have sufficient resources in ECD and you have resources in bursary, something that has not been devolved, the money is still in the central kitty. We ask that big question, why are you spending your money to do things that don't belong to you? And I know, I think before you arrived, there was an intergovernmental discussion on bursaries. And as Senate, we made our pronouncement from the floor of the House that if that bursary is going to be devolved, the money must follow the function. If that function of bursary comes down, then you must demand. And I know you are a very tough whip. You must whip your governors to make sure that if they give bursaries, the national government must give you new money, not the current money that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And as actually Governor, you had noted, he was here earlier, but he had not introduced himself, so the team does not know who he is.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. My name is Jones Mwaruma. I'm the Senator for Taita Taveta, a member of this committee. I left because there's a colleague who had fallen sick, so I had rushed to Aga Khan. Karibu sana, Governor Susan Kihika. I must say that it's been a long time since we met. I worked with Senator Kihika in the last parliament, and we were together in the Committee of Energy. I know she's a very energetic lady and very brilliant. Now, let me ask my question because we are running short of time. And I don't know if it has been asked, but it's a matter of professional development. Because for teachers, a theorist called Professor John Cotton Dana said that he who must teach must never cease to learn. So in matters of professional development, how do you organize them? Is there a budget for and a program for professional development? What do you do in professional development? Like, for example, is it retooling for CBET and CBC? Is it material development? Because then with scarcity of resources, we need to train our teachers in improvisation and so on. So what do you focus on? How frequent are they? Are they programmed for, or they are sporadic? And so on. I need to know how professional development is carried out in Nakuru County.
Through you, Chair, mine is not a question, but a follow-up. I'm requesting that as they give us further documents, you provide how you are supporting learners with a disability. You mentioned some special schools. We want to know, are those public schools, are those private schools, and what you're providing. Noting that the learners with disability are not supposed to get the crumbs. They are equal, and they are supposed to be integrated in education just like other children. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Okay, Governor.
Thank you, Chair and members. Through the Chair, I have a few questions here to answer. One for Senator Murango, thank you very much. Kiswahili ilikuwa juu sana, the level of it, but nimengangana nimesikia quite a bit. And I appreciate that. In fact, just so Senator, you know, through the Chair, we call it the Lishe na Mama program. because you said about Lisha. At first, when they told me that name, I asked, what does Lisha mean? I guess I'm on video. I'm that basic, but asante sana. We appreciate and we are going to keep working harder. My CEC for education is also from Molo. So I see you're from Nakuru, you lived in Molo, so we are working quite hard on that. And I want to point out, Senator, just so you understand how, I mean, to some people, it may just sound like a cup of porridge, but you will be surprised, and especially in areas where you have the informal settlements, where sometimes the weather, they may not even have food, like that may be the little meal that they eat. So before we started the program, we had 58,000 kids in our ECDs. After the program started, and we've only done it for one financial year, it has gone to 64,929. The schools under the public ECDs at that point were 1,003. And some that had died in some areas, I think it was Soin or Solai. Solai, where there's some very dry areas and the ECDs had died, like there were no students, so they had shut down and closed. So we went from 1,003 to 1,061 in one financial year. So yes, it may look like just a cup of porridge, but it's really important for some of those little kids, which I want to bring the issue by Professor Senator Kamar on the bursary. It's one of those that even us as governors, especially some of us, we agonize over that. Yes, it's a national government function, but I tell you, Senator Professor Kamar, when you're out there on the ground and they see me and they bring these kids in uniform with a backpack on the back and they say, this girl is supposed to have reported 3 weeks ago, but they have not a penny in the house. The mother washes clothes all over the place. I can't just walk away and go back to the office. My heart just won't allow it. So there's some kids that are from such poor and vulnerable families that if we don't step in, they will not go to school. And we know under the Constitution, it's a right for everybody to be able to go to school. But I also get you and I understand we need to get the money from the national government to follow the function. But at the same time, I mean, we are not, it may not happen soon. So, and if it doesn't and we don't bridge the gap, then those kids will be the house girls and the herdsmen and all that if we don't step in. So I think on that one, yes, on a very boardroom kind of way, we should leave it for the national government to do that function. But practically, when you go on that ground, Professor Kamar, because I know you, I need to call you one of the days. You just come with me on one of those things, you will cry. But I get your point.
I'm totally with you, Governor. What I want you to use is to use your mobilization skill, because I know who you are. I know you can whip. We must get that in the boardroom of the summit. That should be number one. That CDF is not doing all it should do. The president has some funding, everybody has some funding. Let's put all that and take it to I agree with you that the sufferer is actually the governor, because you are very close to the person who is suffering, so they will be streaming to your office. They don't care who you are. You can't tell them it's with the president, you must do it. But what we are saying is demand in that summit that this money follows the function.
Absolutely. Why don't we have disclosure? Why don't you give the list of all students who have missed out on NGCDF and we forward to the president to say that your bursary did not reach these ones and we don't have the money? That's what I'm saying, yes. If we start doing that, it also brings an aspect of transparency around NGCDF. Yeah?
Maybe, Chair,
Thank you.
very, very quickly, I hope you're aware that the Chair of the Committee on Education of the Council of Governors does not hold the same views as yourself. Yes, because he doesn't have any allocation for bursaries in the county of Kericho, because he says it's a national government function and everybody should be able to take care of their functions. He was before us last week.
That's good information for the governor. Governor, have you finished?
Yes, very quickly. Sorry, Chair, and I'll go very quickly. Through Professor Kamar, Senator, the hexagonal, actually that's exciting to me. So I'll follow up on that, and maybe with my team here we can get a picture, because it makes sense when the kids, like you're saying, if we are sitting here and I'm sitting next to the pen that's been put there, I'll grab it as a kid, and the ones further down may not be able to do that. So we'll follow up on that. It actually sounds exciting. On the issue of the model, the two model, we call them model centers or model classroom, my voice.
Centers.
Model centers.
sorry, which is back to actually what Senator Kajiado from Kajiado was, is it from or off? Or both, right? From both, or from. Senator Seki was talking about on the issue on our model ECD centers that so far we've done. To what it is we go to some of very, very highly populated schools. We have some like a primary school, remember like Karagita area and those sorts of stuff, where they have like Manmirera, where they have about a student population of
The whole school is more than 4,000.
over 4,000 students in just So what we do there with these model centers is instead of building 2 classrooms, we do 4 classrooms. We do an office for the teachers. We do toilets. We do a kitchen for that, so that it caters to that very, very big population. And the reason you hear, it doesn't take away, because of the equality part, equal access. It doesn't take away from those other students in the other areas. It just is, it's better expanding, so that hopefully we catch up on all those areas where, say, we were saying a student ratio to a teacher is 125. On that one, we probably need to have 4 classrooms, 4 teachers, a toilet block for them. And now we are also sectioning off, instead of having our children in all the primary schools now where we are building, just be part of the primary school, we are getting them to give us a section of the grounds, so that we put up our little kids sort of by themselves. On the issue, I'll have my CC handle this. The question from Senator Mwaruma. Senator Mwaruma, I remember, was a teacher, so he really understands this on the professional development that we are doing at the county, and also the question on how we are supporting learners with disability. No, I think that Senator Muma wanted us to submit that, and we shall be submitting it, through the chair, as we submit the other documents. Okay.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Honorable Senator. We are doing professional development for our teachers through retooling them by offering them trainings. And the trainings do not just happen, they are programmed, and they usually happen when the schools are closed. So we take advantage of the holiday season, and we plan trainings for them. We are also in the process of procuring curriculum designs, so that because now they have been retooled on how to go through a collaboration with non-governmental organizations and also national polytechnics, like the Rift Valley National Polytechnic has come in handy because they are helping us mentor the trainers. And we also have the International Labour Organizations and another organization called Colleges and Institutions Canada, CICAN. Thank you.
Actually, these centers don't know what curriculum designs are. Tell them. They don't know.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Chair. Curriculum designs, they are like teacher guides, something that will guide the teacher on what content to offer to the learners and how to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Senators, please, I'll ask that we move very fast to question number 6. And because we had agreed, and you all agreed, that this is a model county which we need to visit, I'm sure when we do our oversight visit, we can have all these questions and we can see more. And also, this does not stop us from asking for more supplementary questions, so that they can be answered and brought to us as we finish our report. So very fast, please, let's move to question number 6, because the other governor is waiting.
Okay, Chair, thank you very much. Thank you, members. Capitation grants. Okay, sorry, let me start with the existing budgets and resources available to enhance a stable and sustained financing for TVET and skill development in Nakuru County, and measures put in place to ensure that traditionally disadvantaged groups have equal opportunities and access to TVET institutions. Capitation grants. These grants are allocated to the vocational training centers across the 11 sub-counties of Nakuru County to subsidize operational costs and reduce the financial burden on students. By providing these funds, the county ensures that there is free tuition, making vocational training accessible to disadvantaged groups. Allocations for the capitation grants since financial year 2022-2023, as chair guides, members will look at that. The county government of Nakuru has also taken significant steps to ensure traditionally disadvantaged groups have equal access to vocational training centers. These measures include A, establishment of additional vocational training centers. Nakuru County has established vocational training centers in the marginalized areas of the Ongiek in Tinet Ward for the Ongiek community, Maela in Maela Ward for the Ma community, Ruiyo Bay in Solai Ward as a hardship area, Kongasis VTC in Mburu Baroque Ward for marginalized communities within Baroque area to ensure equitable access to vocational education. B, operationalization, I never can say that word, operationalization of new VTCs. Nakuru County has made commendable efforts to operationalize 7 TVETs that had been constructed earlier as a strategy to reduce disparities and foster sustainable development within marginalized communities. For example, the Sariat VTC in Mauche Ward and the Kongasis VTC in Neburu. This is a measure to ensure that all communities across the county have equitable access to vocational training opportunities for skills development and economic empowerment to enhance their employability or entrepreneurial ventures. The capitation grants, these grants are allocated to the vocational training centers to support students in covering tuition costs, making vocational education more affordable and inclusive to disadvantaged groups. Before the new formula of distribution was developed, only 33 vocational training centers were benefiting from the capitation grants, but from the next financial year, that's 2025-2026, of tuition fees to the students. The county also offers bursaries that cover essential costs such as lunch programs and payment of examination fees for students from low income. Learners are happy having fun facilities, especially the toilets and the play equipment. D, the construction of 11 centers of excellence. Nakuru County has established 1 center of excellence across the county, in each sub-county, as a significant investment in the future of vocational training and technical education. These centers have been designed to provide high-quality specialized training in various trades and skills, ensuring that students receive the most relevant and up-to-date education. And Annex 6, which is attached, is a list of centers of excellence. So you'll find some are good with tailoring, some are good with ICD, technology, vehicle repairs, and those sorts of things. Increased enrollment initiatives, that's E. Efforts to promote vocational training as a viable career path have led to higher enrollment rates. This includes advocacy campaigns and financial support through capitation grants that caters for tuition fee and bursaries for the feeding program and payment of examination fees for students from low-income families and the marginalized communities. F, the recognition of prior learning. The county is working to merge skills with certification, ensuring that individuals with practical expertise receive formal recognition, while those with academic qualifications are equipped with necessary technical skills. G, the continuous professional development. Trainers and ECDE teachers undergo regular skill development programs to stay updated with modern teaching methodologies and industry trends. They have been trained on competency-based education and training, the CBET, in partnership with Dan Church Aid, DCA, Colleges and Institutes Canada, that's the CICAN, International Labour Organization, the ILO, KICD, EDU, and TSC. H, expanding demand-driven training programs in partnership with International Labour Organization. Our vocational education centers now offer diverse industry-aligned courses tailored to key economic sectors, including agriculture, automotive technology, ICT, hospitality and construction trades, alternative building material technology. And this approach has ensured that graduates possess job-ready skills, addressing both employment challenges and the national skills gap. Challenges faced in the implementation of ECDE and vocational education and training.
One, the provision of equitable education and training is affected by natural calamities such as flooding in institutions, roofs blown by strong winds, and that sort of stuff. Two, the mushrooming of substandard and unregistered ECD centers that are not suitable for learning. Negative perception of the name Village Polytechnic as in the Constitution, hence low enrollment. Number four is most ECDE centers before devolution were managed by the communities. After devolution, a big burden on employment was left to the county. Hence, Nakuru may need a special grant for employment. Five, discrepancy in the scheme of service for hiring instructors in the county and that of the national government. Hence, most instructors are migrating to national polytechnics and TVCs for greener pastures. The entry point for a diploma holder in the scheme of service for instructors at the county government level is H, while for the national government, same qualification is a J. So we're having a lot of them leave our institutions for national government institutions. Annex 7 is a scheme of service for vocational training. And number 6, insufficient resources to train ECDE teachers and instructors on the competency-based curriculum, the CBC, and the competency-based education and training, that's the CBET. Thank you, Chair and members.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Members, I request that we go very fast. And as we go fast, I would want to ask if you have a quality assurance department that assesses the quality of, assesses the quality of education in both ECDE and the TVET centers. Okay, members, please. Yes, Catherine.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, my questions will mirror what I said in ECD, and some of them you need not answer now, but when you are submitting the documentation, please provide. Broadly, again, do you have policy and strategy around VTC? Nakuru County is an industrial county, I'm made to believe. So we would want to know, one, how many industrial parks do you have? And are you linking your VTC training to your industrial park so that you're able to tell us every year we are churning so many of this qualification to these parks? It's information that we would want to hear. And as you say, VTC training is stigmatized in some instances, but now more than ever, we need skills in agriculture. We need to ensure this is happening. What courses do you have in agricultural, skilled agricultural training courses, and how are you moving on that? Finally, Chair, again, a question that cross-cuts to both. Let Her Excellency share with us the list of all additional allocation funds that Nakuru County has received in respect of ECD and in respect of VTC training, and how those have been deployed in respect of the projects that you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Catherine, your Vice.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Governor, for the details you have given. I'm just looking for one detail, the number of students, number of VTCs is number of students per VTC, which you may need to, I saw, did I see something on page, oh, it is not paginated. Do we have, I can see, I see 33, yeah, a document by the director, list of institutions, but it is giving us only the names, the 33 VTCs, but it's not giving us, what is that population? Is that the number of students you have? Is that the number of students? Because I'm looking for data that says Nakuru VTC has this number of students. Is that the number of students? What you call population? Yes. Because if that is the case, then you just need to go and flip and give us a document that says, that gives us the name of the VTC, the number of students. You have given us something from how the CEC Finance is releasing money. Give us a document that tells us the number of students,
The centers?
the centers and the number of students.
The number of students and the demographics.
Yes.
How many women, how many men, how many women?
Yeah, if you can give a demographics also, how many women, how many men, and in each of them the centers, you call them center of excellence, just give us the whatever they are doing. Now, number 2 is that Governor, then you have 40. You're saying from this financial year we have 40. As you said rightfully, Governor, Nakuru is not only large, but it has a large population. The number of students, if we start from the highest, after KCSE, that go to the university, what is their percentage? Their percentage, I can give you, that one for free, is about 25%. So if Nakuru is releasing 25%, I want the CEC finance, the CEC education to ask ourselves always, where are your 75%? Where are you offloading those ones? Then we have had for under 844 a very long program of class 8. Class 8 transition, again, yes, that is a figure that the CEC should be giving the governor so that the governor knows where her population is. How many transit from primary school to secondary school? I know you have less secondary schools than the primary schools, and I know you accommodate children from other corners, North Rift. We have a lot of our children in Nakuru, which means you even have more children dropping off from class 8. Where are they? I hope your VTCs are called VTC, not Village Polytechnic anymore, to remove the stigma. But that is the best avenue for your students. These dropouts, as we call them, of class 8 and Form 4. You need to ask yourself always, if there is any legacy that you leave as a mother, is to mop this one. Yeah, we know you have really taken care of the babies and in ECD, and we're very proud of that. But these are the ones that you must mop. Yeah.
Chair, the mouth is hers, but I wanted to ride on that. Would you kindly also tell us the number of teen pregnant girls in Nakuru and how many have transitioned back to the system?
And I'm sure you're not asking for those figures now. You want them submitted later in the additional supplementary documents that they'll add. Yes, Senator Siki. Sorry, Professor, you are through? Okay, Senator Siki.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Maybe just I wanted to ask the governor if these VTCs are free. Now that I can see the element of giving bursaries, and again, you also indicated that there's capitation, which it is not scaled down or even divided into what is all about the recurrent. Is it salary for to operate within the VTCs or within the ministry, the department? So I think it is good that you clarify that after we get to get that. And the second question, Chair, is about the what about after training? You've trained VTC students for 3 months, 6 months on a skill-based course. What about after training? You might train them and then they just go home. They are forgotten. What plans do you have for these students that have been trained, for them to continue now to be productive to the community, such that now if you have the electricians, masonry, whatever, engineers, mechanics, and all that, are you following? Do we have a program to follow them, so that they becomes essential or even important to the community? And we can see in our Juakali, we are using these students and we have a story to tell. So I think it's good that also you tell us after the training what you have planned you have as a county. Thank you.
I'm sure, Senator, what you wanted to know is whether she gives any equipment and support.
Equipment after training.
Your Excellency, most of the questions were to be given back. So see what you have to answer, what you can answer quickly, then we move on.
Thank you very much, Chair, as well as the members. I'll briefly see what we can answer, but most of them, as you have said, is as we submit, we'll be submitting that information. On the question of quality assurance from you, Chair, yes, we do have that. We do have that department. On the question from Senator Muma on the policy, we do have that. We do have that in place as a county. And on Nakuru being an industrial city, yes, it is, has been, was in the past, sort of along the way, many factories or manufacturers moved out, but now we are trying to get back to where it was. We do have the CAIPs coming up, almost done. We do have, that's the county aggregation industrial parks. We do have a functional, actually, the one thing that's working is now the special economic zone in Naivasha, Mahio area. We do have now companies that are setting up there. And we have an EPZ that's also coming up in Joro. So they are not complete yet, so they have not been able to absorb our vocational training center graduates, or may call them that. But that is our hope that in the future that they go in that direction, which ties into the question of Senator Seki, as far as after the training, what happens to this group? And that's a very important question in the sense that I believe that we need to give them the skills for them to be employed. And we may not be the ones employing them, but to make also the business environment in the county good so that employers are able to employ more people and our kids can get employed. We do have, for example, when we talk about sorry, and actually I'll let her answer, my CC answer some of those, because we do have partners. We've talked about the equipments that they are given on graduation, and you talk about that. We've partnered with some people who give that. Let me let the CC answer some of these questions very quickly through the chair. And we do have Annex 6 on the Centers of Excellence, Annex 5 on the distribution of the capitation grants. We shall obviously provide additional data as we have stated. The bursaries that we give cater for examination fee and lunch. There were some students who, after going through it, could not afford to pay for the examination fee. Or others have the reduced lunch in there, and them they are not able to do that. But that's from the poor families or the families that are marginalized and not able to afford that. And the capitation grant goes towards the tuition. So they are generally, when we go around and encourage and talk to parents to have their children who either dropped out of standard 8 or Form 4 and need these skills to show up in our vocational training centers, is because we tell them it's free. They don't have to, they don't pay anything. So that is one thing we are really pushing so that we can get the kids the skills to be employable. On the, like we talked about the industrial linkages with the companies, we have one like Bedi, which is very big in the textile arena, in the textile factory area there, and employs a lot of people from the county. We have a lot of construction going on in the county, be it, as Senator Medu knows, the affordable housing programs and the market and all those sorts of things. So we are giving the skills to our young ones as masons, as electricians, as carpenters and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully we are able to match these skills. The skills we are imparting in them are the ones that are needed by the jobs today. And ICT actually is one of the bigger ones. So I'll have very briefly, Chair, through you, my CC touch on what I have not touched. And the other stuff on the teen pregnancies, that's a serious issue there, but we shall be providing that data because I will be honest, I don't have it right up front, but it's important. Yes, CC, through the chair.
Thank you, Your Excellency, through the chair. Her Excellency has touched on almost everything, but on enrollment, as of May, as of opening of this term, we had an enrollment of 6,217 trainees.
How many across wards?
Across 55, not every ward has a VTC, but it's across the sub-counties. We shall provide the data as requested highlighting how many we have where, but we have 40 VTCs. Yes, I think everything else has been answered. Yes, yes, we have agricultural courses, and we actually have a Center for Excellence for Agriculture at a place called Barut, and they are actually also doing it at an entrepreneur level, not only learning. And we also include entrepreneur training so that the learners, as they exit the VTCs, they can be able to monetize their skills. And lastly, VTC is the Tibet area is attracting very many trainees, especially graduates. As of now, we have 16 graduates who've gone to university, finished, and then they come and take up vocational training. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We're going to send in some more questions, as which I'm sure members have picked in our discussions. Maybe the shortcomings and maybe some advice and maybe some points here and there, and would expect to receive those supplementary answers as we've agreed in the shortest time possible, so that we can be able to make our reports and maybe reflect Nakuru as it is. Once again, I want to thank Your Excellency. I'll give you a chance for your closing remarks so that very fast we can close and start the next meeting.
Maybe, Chair, because I didn't ask a question, I wanted you to give me a quarter second, or no, quarter minute, so that I can also make a closing remark. I want to congratulate the Governor. You are doing so well, but my comment as my immediate elder sister is that as you continue doing the good work that you're doing, I want you to keep your ear on the ground, listen to what is happening, so that you can be able to continue serving the people of Nakuru. I wish you well.
Very well noted, and thank you, Senator Medu. Yes, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, members, and I take that advice under advisement. Thank you. Anyway, on a very serious note, thank you for even that session, that platform, to be able to discuss what's going on in that ECD for the young learners, as well as for our older kids in the vocational training, our older students in the vocational training colleges. We thank you, and even as you ask the questions, it does point out to us some of the gaps that we may have, some of the things that perhaps we haven't quite well thought about or thought them through. So we want to go back and do better, because we do believe that as far as the ECD, unless we have a very strong foundation, we shall be failing our children. But we also know, as far as now the vocational training centers and getting those skills, we have a very, like I said, for some reason, have a very young population in the county of Nakuru. So by virtue of that, I have a very youthful population. So I have a lot of youth who, like you said, only 25 transition to universities. I have a whole 75 to look into. So when we talk about 6,000, that's a very small number in a county that has a total population of about 2 million point something. So you can imagine the number of youths there. So we shall go back and try to keep up with that, as well as focus on making sure that we are absorbing or making sure that we are imparting the skills that the young, let's call them the Gen Zs, require, and also making the county attractive for business so that those who want to be hired are able to get jobs, and also to give them the entrepreneurial skills that some of them may want to get into business themselves and all that. So yes, as we live here today, we keep our eyes on the ball to make sure that we also do well for the youth of Nakuru County, so that we can have them being very productive in terms of their own lives, but also for the county and for the country. So we thank you, and thank you so much as a committee. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and we're looking forward to coming and visiting Nakuru City and to see the excellent job you're doing. We want to thank you once again for having time to be before this committee, and wish to tell you that we'll soon visit you, so that as we do our oversight mandate as a Senate, we do what is expected of us by the people of the Republic of Kenya. So thank you very much, honorable members, and Your Excellency, the meeting stand adjourned. Members, we'll have a